Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today on how to stay fit without obsession while traveling. This is something that I'm so excited to bring to you because honestly, like summer is here. Like Memorial Day weekend is fast. I know technically like schools have not let out for the summer. Summer season hasn't started, but in my books, like Memorial Day weekend kind of marks the start of summer. And really like now is a time where weather is getting warmer. You're probably, wearing less clothing because obviously you're probably sweating your ass out. It's been like 80 degrees here, except for today it's raining. So hopefully the warm weather comes back. But honestly, this is a time to really kind of uncover how you're going to be able to stay fit and true to your goals and not be obsessive when we go into the summer season, because I want you to be able to go on vacation and have fun. I want you to be able to go to the beach and feel confident in your skin and hang out with your friends and not feel like you have to say no to certain food. So what I want to do today is I'm going to actually go ahead and share my screen so that you all can see my presentation. So let me get it pulled up for you. All right, here we go. So let's dive in because honestly, so many of these things I really want to bring to you right now, and I'm just so excited to jump in. So the first thing I want you to do is kind of ask yourself if any of these things sound like you. So maybe you're someone that, feels pretty good about nutrition when you're at home and in your routine, and you can stay settled and you can go to sleep at a certain hour and you can make all the foods that are in your fridge. But when you go to travel, you just feel lost. You feel immediate anxiety because you're not able to stay, within those safe foods that you've always given yourself. You feel like you can't actually hit the macro goals that you're trying to maybe hit when you're on vacation. You feel like you might need to actually bring a food scale because you're so obsessive about it. Or maybe you feel really flustered when it comes to going on vacation when you're trying to stick to like that certain goal, right? Sometimes when we go out to restaurants, there might not be calorie things on the menu. Or, you might be having to eat things that are cooked with different oils or different additive things that you really honestly don't know the nutrition content of. And that's just how it is. Honestly, like I actually think that's a refreshing thing and it's a good thing because sometimes we get too stuck in calorie and macro goals. Another thing that you might be feeling is maybe you get discouraged for weeks, after going on vacation. Maybe you had one bad week of eating, and instead of actually getting home, kind of settling back into your routine, settling back into the things that make you feel your best, you end up like literally going in this downward spiral, not working out, shoving your face with junk, feeling like that one bad week has turned into a bad month, has turned into a bad summer. And then, maybe one other thing that you struggle with is you go on vacation and you end up just saying kind of like, screw it. Like, I've been working so hard. I'm tired of dieting. I literally want to eat everything in sight. And you literally just shove your face and treat every meal like a cheat meal. So if that sounds like you definitely want to listen up. You definitely want to tune in to what I have to say, because I'm going to definitely give you some tips and tricks around all of this. So the first thing that I kind of want you to do is actually sit and close your eyes. And, I'm not looking at you right now. I know a lot of you have your screens off and things like that. So I want you to literally envision what life could look like for you. If you could actually stay true to your goals and still have fun on vacation, still have fun, even not on vacation, but just hanging out with friends this summer, being able to take time away from your normal routine. So close your eyes and I want you to envision this. Like, I'm going to tell you right now that you can enjoy every single meal out with no guilt. Like, you truly can. You can take time away from the gym and not lose any progress. Like, it can be done, I promise. Again, stay with me. All of these things, I promise. I know you're probably a little bit hesitant. You probably don't actually think that these things are doable for you, but I promise that they are. So the next thing I want you to kind of envision is that you can actually focus on unwinding fully and, feeling at peace in your skin, because that is something that, really actually elevates the vacation, right? If you're not able to be in the moment, if you're not able to, feel immersed in the experience and you're just obsessing about how you feel in your skin, you're beating yourself down with negative thoughts, then that's not really enjoying the vacation to the fullest. So I don't want that to happen to you. You can also focus on counting memories instead of counting the macros the entire trip. This is key, right? Because really the reason you're going on vacation is not to just stick to your macro goal or, follow your routine to a T, right? It's actually the point of vacation is to get outside of your routine, to make memories that you can't make on a day-to-day basis. So I want you to be able to be fully immersed in that. You can envision this. I know it's a hard one. I mean, boy or girl, I say rock a bikini, but it might be a Speedo, whatever it is, but you can confidently rock a bikini and your favorite clothes. Like, you can actually go out on the beach, feel good, take pictures. That's the next thing I want you to think of, is like, imagine taking pictures and actually looking back at them and saying, oh, wow, I remember how fun it was when we went banana boating, or, oh, I remember when we walked across the lawn to the Eiffel Tower and I felt so beautiful in that dress. we don't need to look at pictures and beat ourselves down. So I want you to tell yourself, like, this is possible. This is literally possible. Even if years after years after years, you feel like it's not. Even if, last summer it ended really poorly. You felt like you literally went through the worst time of your life. This is going to be the summer that you're going to change all that. I know it. I know it. We're going to go through, and I want to go ahead and start to teach you the 5 tips that I'm going to help you kind of learn that you can utilize on vacation so that you can actually stay true to your goals, but, be in the moment more, be less obsessive about, your fitness and nutrition when you're away. So one thing that I have too that I'm going to be dropping at the end that I'm really excited about is a kind of a healthy eating vacation guide so that you guys can actually take it with you. You can take all this knowledge with you so that even, if you're traveling, you can shove it in your suitcase, you can take a picture of it on your phone, or just have it saved in your phone. It's basically a lot of things we're going to be talking about today, but a little bit more detail just to make sure that, you guys don't forget any of this important information that I'm going to share with you. So I'll be sharing that with you at the end if you can stick around. And just a little bit about me, because I know sometimes some of you might not know my story. Some of you might not follow me on Instagram where I do most of my posting. I actually grew up as a dancer, so I actually still professionally dance. So that's kind of my background and how I sort of got into the fitness world, and became a certified personal trainer, became a nutrition coach. But I also have a very, kind of important part of my life where I went through really disordered eating, and I was in an inpatient hospital center. I really struggled, with loving myself. I was very suicidal. I was so sick I couldn't even work at that point. And it was really just because I had like this really warped version of food and my body and myself. So that's why I'm so passionate about, helping you all and helping share that, life doesn't have to be miserable. Life doesn't have to look like that. You can heal your relation with food and feel good in your skin. Also, a couple of other things. I have a little dog named Brandy. She's right there on the screen. She's super, super cute. She's sometimes a menace, but she's being behaved right now and sleeping. So we'll hope that she keeps that up. And I actually just got married a couple weeks ago. So I'm married to Trey, and we both love to go outside. We love to hike, fish, camp. He hasn't gone camping actually with me yet, but I love to camp, so that's going to change soon. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So next, I want you to kind of ask yourself again, like, are these other things that you kind of see pop up a lot as patterns? So maybe you see yourself starting to kind of restrict calories before a trip. Like, you almost in anticipation of the weight you're going to gain, you start to kind of pull back the food that you're having at home, and you get scared. You almost feel like you have to kind of lose a little bit of weight for the weight that you're going to, potentially gain in your head. Maybe you feel confident again, like I said, in your choices at home, but whenever you're away, like, you literally don't know what to do. Like, you feel frozen. You feel like, just anxiety ridden, stress ridden, because you don't know how to translate what you've learned at home to actually, kind of be applied to what you're doing when you're out on vacation. Another thing that really can kind of happen a lot more, even if this is happening, constantly at home, is it can get heightened when you're on vacation, is you tear yourself down with negative thoughts directed about your body. So, if you have poor body images home, I'm going to tell you right now, like, that's only going to be elevated when you're out on a trip, when you're out in an environment where you're not as comfortable, right? Especially again, like, it's summertime in less clothing. It's going to be a lot harder to kind of tackle that, poor body image when you're in that environment. So another thing that, might sound like you is you purposely say no to traveling opportunities. Like, I have been there where literally I've had friends want to hang out with me. Again, it doesn't even have to be traveling far, but like traveling state to state or even, across town. Like, I've literally said no to things in anticipation that I wouldn't be able to follow my nutrition goals. I wouldn't be able to kind of have my comfortable things around me. And then again, maybe you come back feeling defeated after a trip and regretful and guilty, and that guilt just kind of like translates into the rest of the week, into the rest of the month. And it's just this kind of constant cycle of you can't actually enjoy yourself when you go on a trip because you always feel bad about it afterwards. So if any of that sounds like you, I have amazing news, awesome news, actually. Again, I'm going into my 5 tips that we are going to start implementing. We are today, it's going to happen, implementing so that you can start enjoying every vacation you take to the fullest and stay true to your fitness goals. So let's go ahead and shed the old way. I want you to literally say goodbye to all of these things right now. Like, again, can't see you. I know I'm looking at myself in my, my presentation right now. So go ahead, give it a little wave, do an actual wave goodbye. We're not going to let food control our every thought and decision anymore on vacation. We're going to actually be present, right? We're going to stop hating everything about our bodies and being fearful of wearing clothing that is slightly revealing. You're going to actually want to wear your bikini. You're going to want to feel good and rock your shorts, rock your sundresses, rock all those things this summer. And we're going to say goodbye to feeling like there's no way you could go on a trip and actually love everything about your body, because I'm here to tell you, you can, because here's the new, I want you to envision it right now. We're making it happen. This is happening this summer. So we're going to actually confidently take a break. Literally, that's what vacation is. The trip is traveling, summer in general. Take a break from your workouts to decompress and get time off, because actually it's not great for our body to constantly be working out. We actually need deload weeks. We need time away from working out. So why not even try to purposefully schedule those on your vacation, right? Like, it actually is great for your body to have some rest. So I think, like, even for me, I purposefully scheduled my deload time during my wedding, during my honeymoon, so that I could go back to the gym feeling energized, feeling fresh, feeling like my muscles got a break. The new way, I want you to envision again, we're going to love a relationship with food, because you know how to properly fuel yourself. And you know how to treat yourself too. Like, this is about balance. And I know that's a word that's used a lot, but truly it is about balance. Like, that's how your nutrition and fitness journey should be at home as well as away. And, you know, the new way, we're going to travel with excitement. We're going to try new foods, and we're going to experience new adventures without letting body image kind of deter you from enjoying those moments. So here are my tips. We're going to dive right in. And actually, it's going to be pretty funny because they are a lot simpler than you probably think. You probably think I'm going to give you all these complex things, but quite honestly, I think that's where we all kind of get a little messed up. Like, that's why we always overthink these things on vacation, because they're a lot more simplistic than we need to, you know, complicate them to be. So number one is plan ahead. And I will say, this is something that is very crucial, especially in your beginning phases of, if you're someone trying to heal your relationship with food or body image, and you're really kind of starting this venture, and even I would say even a couple years in. Like, I was able to go on my honeymoon and not plan ahead, but that's because I practiced this over and over and over with traveling. I've gone through this. I've picked up my triggers. I picked up my habits, right? So normally I would recommend planning ahead. And so one thing that you could do with that is research local restaurants and grocery stores, because at the end of the day, if we're eating out at restaurants every single, and this is another thing I'm going to bring up too, if we're eating out at restaurants every single meal of the day, that's going to be a lot of indulgent food. And it might even be the more healthful choices, but like, truthfully, restaurants are going to give you bigger portion sizes. They're going to have additives in there that you don't necessarily know what's in there. So it's not that we can't have restaurant meals, but it is really great to try to balance it with making some of your own foods, right? Like having a grocery store available with some healthy options in mind. So once you kind of pick those places, once you pick those restaurants too, one thing that I like to do, and this is even at home whenever I'm going out to eat, is looking over the menu, kind of scanning it, but giving yourself a few options. So it's not like you're locked in, like you're telling yourself weeks in advance, you need to get the salmon and the veggies and the rice. Like, because that might not be what you're in the mood for that night. So I think, you know, pick a couple things. Maybe you might want a turkey burger, you might want the salmon, and you might want, I don't know, a grilled chicken salad. And maybe that night you're feeling like you want a lighter meal and you're not as hungry, so you opt for that grilled chicken salad. So kind of giving yourself liberty to decide in the moment, but also kind of giving yourself a little bit more of a lens to look in, so you're not so overwhelmed looking at the menu. And then again, if you're in an Airbnb or in a house, like have groceries delivered or go in ahead and pick them up, because then you'll have healthy options available, and it won't be like you're always trying to find them, you know, in the moment and waiting till you have extreme hunger and then maybe not going for those healthier options. And then having a mini fridge and a microwave is super helpful, right? Because like, what if you have leftovers, right? Or, you know, even just being able to have a couple things to warm up that can be helpful to make sure that you have a breakfast before you get out of the room could be really, really great. So these are the things I want you to start to do when you go on trips. I want you to start pre-planning those meals, even if it's like kind of just general plan for the day, right? Like making sure that you have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of planned ahead, so that you don't end up skipping a meal and getting really hungry for one later, or, you know, just not feeling kind of boggled in the moment when you feel like you don't have a decision made. Also, not skipping breakfast is a huge key, because I know that you probably are thinking, oh, well, I should save my calories until later in the day, Gina. No, that actually ends up making you overeat later in the day. You're going to stuff your face, and then you're going to have a bellyache, and you're going to feel way more guilt in that moment than if you actually fuel yourself, especially with a high protein breakfast before starting the day. You're going to have that day be a lot more enjoyable. So the last thing I want you to kind of start to do is have smaller, more frequent meals. This is something I even recommend when you're at home, because honestly, it's going to help your metabolism work a lot better, and you're also going to feel energized. You're going to make sure that you're having that constant energy to enjoy the day, versus kind of having these gaps of energy where we feel like, you know, we haven't eaten hours and we all of a sudden have that kind of afternoon slump. So let's go into tip number 2. So tip number 2 is to pack snacks and stay hydrated. So this is something to not feel worried about. I actually do this when I still go visit friends, even up the street. I actually never leave the house without having a protein bar in my purse, even though most of the time I don't end up eating it, because it's just good to have something available just in case there's a moment where you might not have a meal for a while. Like you might be, I don't know, traveling through Europe and you are on your feet all day and you want to go see all the, famous monuments, and you don't end up getting that meal until later in the day. So having some healthier snacks like fruit, nuts, or protein bars can be super, super helpful to kind of grab and make sure that you're not getting overly hungry as well. And then don't be afraid to pack supplements too. I actually will usually, when I go away, I'll bring protein powder just to, that you can mix that in anything. Like if you're at a hotel and they have a breakfast buffet and they have oats, guess what? You could add some protein powder in there and make that a balanced oat bowl versus just having like kind of a bowl of just oats, which is mainly just carbs, which again aren't a bad thing, but you're going to burn through that very quickly and that won't sustain energy for the day. I also bring daily greens and multivitamins. If you don't take those things, totally not a big deal, but like whatever your normal is, whatever you're used to kind of taking daily, try to implement that when you're traveling, because it's going to help keep your digestive system regular. It's going to help you feel regular, because if you start to cut things out as soon as you're away, your body might feel kind of the result of that. And then drink plenty of water throughout the day. Because honestly, like that's something you're probably going to forget. And a lot of the times when we're, really thirsty, it can actually be mistaken as hunger. Now, I'm not someone to say like drink water instead of eating. No, 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 no. That's not the point here. But water is just as important to be having your diet as having, protein, as having fat, as having carbs. And then too, like some of these things that I want you to think about is never leaving without a water bottle or a snack. Like I said, that's kind of a tip, even at home, that I do if I'm going to be out for like a long part of the day, even if I'm going like to the mall or shopping or something like that. And then like, it's not to say you can't have alcoholic beverages when you're on a vacation. Like likely you're going to want to indulge in some alcohol because you're on vacation. So what I would say is just have a plan with that. Like go into drinking with like a kind of a limit or a number in your head of like how many you want to have, just so that you stick to that and set that boundary with yourself. And it's not bad to have some kind of more fun cocktail, especially if you're at the beach, like you might want a pina colada, but if you're having pina coladas all day, that is going to hurt your stomach. It's going to be a lot of added sugar. So maybe trying to buffer that with having maybe some like hard seltzers or some lighter drinks in between. And then tip number 3 is to balance your meals. Now, I think a lot of the times we look at menus on at a restaurant, we get very kind of just confused with what the healthful choice might be. But at the end of the day, if you think of making a balanced plate and we think of having a protein, a healthy carb, and then a veggie, you can easily find something on the menu that matches that, or even kind of morph and make that yourself. So one thing that I would say is, don't be afraid to ask for substitutions or adjustments in cooking methods, because even when I was on my honeymoon, there were certain things that were kind of already pre-plated on the menu. And I was like, well, I don't really want buckwheat noodles. There's nothing wrong with them. Actually, buckwheat noodles are pretty helpful. But I was like, that's not what I'm in the mood for right now. So I literally opted out for a different side. Like, don't be afraid to ask for these things, because at the end of the day, like, restaurants are supposed to be giving you the food that you want, and they actually are really happy to kind of help you get to that nutritional goal that you would like to be at. So a couple things that I would recommend is if you're gonna, be out at a restaurant, opting kind of for those grilled, steamed, or baked dishes is really gonna help not only you feel better in your skin, better in your stomach, because it's gonna be a little bit lighter, but help you stay a little bit more closely aligned to those macro goals versus like getting fried foods, because that's just gonna kind of bog your stomach down. It's not gonna give you the energy to go out and enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your vacation. You're gonna kind of feel like you just want to go into a food coma after that. And one thing I like to also say too is like, think of nutrition by addition. So let's not go into a restaurant and think like, oh, what do I need to cut out of this dish? What do I need to not have today? Think about what you like can add to make it more nutritious. So maybe you do want the burger, and like that's fine, and fries. Like, you know what? Get the burger and fries. But make sure you also are ordering a side of broccoli, or like making sure that you're actually adding on like lettuce, tomato, onion, like some micronutrients, because that's going to help you feel your best. So it's not, saying you can't have the burger. Just make sure that you're kind of dressing it up in a way that's going to make it more nutritious. But yeah, I'm going to continue on because I know we talked a little bit about the portion sizes. So tip number 4 is to indulge mindfully. So it's definitely okay to have treats. It's okay to have dessert. It's okay to have appetizers. It's okay to have drinks. Now, where we go wrong is when we think every meal should have an appetizer, a drink, an entree, a dessert, because right away that's going to add up very quickly. And also that's just not going to help you feel good in like your body. Like honestly, a lot of what I'm kind of, I guess, trying to preach to you guys is it's not even about like, oh, I went over my calories, and the mental battle that that's going to cause. It's literally, you're on vacation. So yes, you want to indulge, you want to like experience the flavors, you want to experience fun things, but also you want to be able to like be on your feet and having fun and, dancing or go like walking the beach, whatever it might be. And if you're, kind of shoving a lot more food down, I guess, at each meal than you probably need, your body's going to feel the effects of that. So this is another, like, it's about feeling your best too, so that you can enjoy that vacation. But what I would say is, like, have the appetizer, like I said, have the dessert, have the entree, have the drinks. Just figure out throughout the day where you kind of want to disperse those things. So it's not about thinking about like every meal is a cheat meal. And honestly, I hate that verbiage because I don't agree in cheat meals. I agree in like having kind of that 80-20 rule, like I put below, kind of a balance of like fun and like nutritious foods. What I would say is you want to kind of balance out like those heavier meals that you might be having by maybe having some lighter meals earlier on in the day. And then too, another thing that you should kind of work through is finding out what your trigger foods are. So like if there's going to be something that if you have a bite of it, it's going to send you into a binge like kind of rampage, and you're just going to feel really bad about eating it. And it's going to send your mentality like, down in the gutters, and it's just not going to be a good thing to set you up for. Like, just don't have that, right? Like I don't know, maybe it's chocolate cake for you. That's just an example. So it's not saying we can't have any desserts, right? But maybe let's stay away from the chocolate cake. Maybe let's have like some ice cream instead, if that's going to be a little bit more comfortable for you, if that makes sense, and not send you in that kind of triggering way. And then I would say too, take bad and off limit foods out of your vocabulary, because anytime we say something is bad or off limits or, we shouldn't have it, for one, it's going to make us want it more. It's going to add this kind of, I guess, bad boy like energy on it, right? Like where we almost want it more, and then you're going to want to indulge in it more. So just allow all foods, and that's going to actually make you kind of feel too, when you go to restaurants, like everything is open, like you can have anything you want. And it almost, I guess, glorifies it a little bit less. You're not like, oh my God, like this chocolate cake is so bad for me. You actually are like, okay, maybe I want the chocolate cake tonight. Maybe tomorrow I don't want the chocolate cake. So let's go into tip number 5. And that is to stay active. So I know I said, when you're on vacation, you could totally take a break from the gym. Like I did, you can, I promise it can be done. But like one thing that can actually help you feel really good in your skin is, engaging in activities that keep you active, like walking, hiking, swimming, exploring, because those things are fun, right? Like at the end of the day, physical activity is not always about burning calories, and nor should it be. It should really be about like enjoying what your body can do, like celebrating movement. So I feel like, if you think of, physical activity in those terms when you're on vacation, it's going to make you want to move more. It's going to make you want to get more steps in, walk more, explore more. So I would just remind yourself, like, calories burned does not mean everything. It really truly doesn't. It's about fueling your soul, right? Like that's, again, one of the reasons we should be working out, and we should be taking care of our body and staying active in that sense. It's not just to get some sort of body physical transformation, even though that can also be a result. So what I would say is, don't be afraid to see if like the location you're staying at has fun fitness activities. Like they might have like yoga on the beach. You might have like fun Zumba happening in the courtyard somewhere that you're staying. And that can be a way to kind of just experience like the environment, meet new people, have fun in the moment without it feeling like a workout class or feeling like something like you have to do, right? Because we want it, if we're going to stay active on vacation, we want it to be a fun thing, because that's the key of vacation, is to have fun. So let's continue on. So basically today, I promised to cover my 5 tips to help you vacation with ease and still stay true to your fitness goals. And I promise this is possible for you. And again, I know I shared this before we went into the tips. I said, like, this is going to seem a lot simpler than you probably think it is. Like you probably thought I was going to give you some intricate things to follow. No, at the end of the day, we want to follow simplicity, because what you've been doing has not been working. Stressing about all of this, feeling like you have to literally calorie count to a T on your FitnessPal or else the world is going to explode. Like, we need to make this simple so that you can stay stress-free. You can enjoy that vacation like we've been talking about. But honestly, this is kind of the kicker. This is like the big, I guess, aha moment for all of us, is that the truth is, like, you really do need to work on healing your relationship with food, exercising your body when you're not vacationing. Because if you feel bad in your skin, if you feel like you have a poor relationship with food and it runs your life, you're thinking about it 24 hours a day. If you feel like, you're not really confident rocking any clothes at home, it's going to pretty much be impossible to do all of those things on vacation. Because like I said, when we're on vacation, it's even harder, right? Like that's an even harder environment to kind of let go of these thought patterns, especially if we have a lot of negative thought patterns. So honestly, without the knowledge on how to combat these negative thought patterns, how to, fuel yourself properly, how to properly utilize in, exercise so that you can actually get your dream physique, vacation is going to keep being a challenge. So I want you to really sit there and ask yourself, like, do you feel like you understand how to, love yourself at home, like in your comfortable environment? Do you feel like you know how to build a balanced plate? Do you feel like you know how to balance indulgence with like healthful foods? And if the answer is no, like it might be a really great time to, yes, work through it this summer, because you definitely can. You can still fully utilize all of these tips I've given you. And I promise you, it's going to help you have that amazing vacation. But I think it's time to also start kind of, utilizing that now too, and just working through that throughout every other time of the year, because that's only going to help you in the long run. It's only going to help you really, truly heal and, be able to enjoy vacations, but also just be able to enjoy life, because you deserve that. You deserve to feel healed. So I do have great news for you, and I definitely want to share a little bit about this with you. My one-on-one coaching program, Fit Without Obsession, is actually opening enrollment today. You all are the first ones to hear about it, the first ones to know. So I'm super excited to bring this to you. I haven't had a lot of open spots lately because, again, was getting married. But guess what? I'm home. I'm ready. I'm so excited to bring on some more clients. And this is the best program to help you embrace a lifestyle free of obsession and disordered eating while building your dream physique. And I know disordered eating, you might think of that phrase and say, oh, well, I don't have an eating disorder. That's not me. Guess what? I pretty much think most people on this planet follow some disordered eating pattern. So, whether that means like you're skipping meals on purpose, you feel obsessive about calories, you feel like you need to skip breakfast, you feel like you need to save up your calories till the end of the day, going out on vacation stresses you out with eating. All of these things kind of can fall into that disordered eating pattern, right? So I want to help you heal that. I want to help you heal your relationship with food. And again, get your dream physique. Like we're here to be in the gym and like get you feeling good in your skin, get you feeling like you love your body, get you toning and defining that look. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to vacation with ease, like we talked about, right? But also how we can kind of transfer that into the rest of your life as well. So that this is a year-round thing, this is a lifelong thing. So this coaching program is for you. I want to kind of give you a little bit of an idea just so you can kind of see if this would be a good fit for you, because I always want to make sure that, coaching with me is a good fit for my clients. So if you're ready to, rid your disordered eating habits for good and learn to embrace a lifestyle where nutrition excites you, yes, excites you, not freaks you out or overwhelms you. I know that might sound like a crazy dream world for some of us, but I promise you it can happen. I'm going to teach you how to understand the exact training methods you should be doing to work towards your dream physique and get gym confidence. Because truthfully, like doing workouts every day, yes, that's great. But unless you have a plan, unless you're following a progressive program, you're not going to get the results that you are looking for, right? So instead of having to, constantly guess, having to constantly, combat all these like misinformative reels and things you see on Instagram or things you see on the internet, I'm going to actually tell you exactly what you need to do without you having to figure it out on your own. You just have to show up and follow it. I'm also going to give you everything you need to start speaking more kindly to yourself, because I know that's probably been so hard for you. I know you've probably been beating yourself down for a long time, and it really takes a lot of effort to change these negative thought patterns, but I'm going to be there with you throughout that process, throughout teaching you how to do that. I'm also going to help you improve your mental health, because really, truthfully, something that happens with every single one of my clients that goes through this program is they don't only see kind of an increase in their happiness as far as fitness and nutrition go and like healing that. They feel like their entire life improves. They see it happening in every area of their life. They feel like their self-worth gets better. They feel like they can actually stand up to that mean boss, or they can actually go follow their dream to, get a yoga certification. This is what I'm telling you. Once you heal your relationship with food and your body, it just opens up a whole new world for you. And I'm going to also teach you everything you need to maintain these healthy habits for a lifetime. This is not a quick fix. This is not something that, we're going to lose the weight in 3 months and then I'm like, peace out forever. No, I'm going to actually teach you how to, become the best version of yourself and maintain that in a sustainable way, so that this is not something that you have to go through again. You're going to make sure that you make these changes for life. So this program was made for you if you want to enjoy all foods. Like you want to be able to eat Oreos, but you also want to be able to love salads, and you also want to be able to eat grilled chicken, but make some meatballs and some French fries some nights. that can happen in this program. If you want to find balance with food and exercise, again, there's that keyword balance. Yes, that is pretty much a lot of what we're going to work through. I promise you, balance is possible for you, even if it feels like we're going one way or the other all the time. You want your dream physique and you want to learn to be spontaneous. Like you want to be able to go on that vacation, feel good in your skin, feel like it's the body that you've always dreamt of. It's going to happen. We're going to travel instead of, travel and enjoy it instead of feeling stressed. Because again, that's what we talked about this whole masterclass. That's what we shared the tips on, is we're going to be able to actually enjoy time away instead of feeling, like it's the worst thing in the world. You're going to start loving the way you look again and love working out again. And also like enjoy resting, because guess what? I encourage my clients to rest a lot. I actually have a lot of clients that come to me over exercising, pushing their body too far. And we find a happy balance of how much they should actually be moving their body. And, one thing that I want to tell you is I've been in your shoes. Like I have literally been overweight. I've been underweight. I've binged. I've restricted. I have been so confused about my fitness journey and food. And I have gone through all of kind of the trials and tribulations to get to where I am today so that I can help you so that you don't have to struggle through this anymore. And a bonus right now is if you actually fill out an application in the next 72 hours, I'm going to go ahead and give you $150 off my program, which I don't give, discounts a lot of the time, but I would love to make sure that this is something that's doable for you. This is something that we can make happen for this summer. So here's a little bit of kind of how to find me. My phone number, a lot of honestly what I do is going to be on my Instagram, which is the fitbean_. If you haven't followed me yet, go ahead and find me there. Share lots of helpful tips there as well. But I definitely want to go ahead first off and say thank you. Second off, I'm going to go ahead and drop that freebie that I promised you into the chat. So I'm going to stop my share really quick so I can go ahead and drop that in the chat. And I'm going to also go ahead and drop my application form as well. So if you want to go ahead, quickly copy and paste this, and I'm going to be sending out an email with this information as well, in case you kind of miss your chance to grab it. So that first one is going to be that free vacation guide PDF for you to go ahead and take on vacation. And then I'm also going to share my application form, hoping that, you go ahead and take that kind of moment to go ahead and look through that, because I know that this is something you want. I know if you hopped on this call, you are struggling with your relationship with food and exercise, but I want to tell you, you can heal it. You're going to have fun this summer. You're going to be able to vacation. Just make sure you follow those tips. Make sure that you treat yourself with kindness. You can do it. I believe in you. And I want to say thank you again for joining me tonight. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye, everyone.